Here's your daily dose of history. These events happened on May 4th. In 1776, 2 months before the Declaration of Independence, Rhode Island becomes the first of the 13 colonies to declare independence from Britain. A little over 14 years later, Rhode Island becomes the last of the original 13 states to ratify the Constitution. Neither of these facts should be a surprise. Rhode Island, since its founding as a colony back in 1636, has had a tradition of independent thinking. It was the only one of the 13 original states that did not send any delegates to the Constitutional Convention. So, not a shock that it took Rhode Islanders longer than others to approve of that Constitution. In 1865, a few weeks after his assassination, Abraham Lincoln is buried in Springfield, Illinois. The funeral train had taken a 2-week, 1,645-mile journey through 400 cities and towns on its way to Springfield to give Americans an opportunity to pay their respects. The train's route is similar to the one Lincoln had taken from Springfield to Washington, D.C., a little over 4 years earlier, in order to assume office as president. In 1970, the Ohio National Guard kills 4 people at Kent State University during a Vietnam War protest. The event is memorialized in Neil Young's song, Ohio. It is a brilliant and powerful song. This is a tragic event. It is also more complicated than it is often portrayed. Students and others had gathered to protest at Kent State. Most of the protests were peaceful, but some had turned more violent. On May 2nd, a group of protesters burned down the ROTC building on campus. Businesses in town had been vandalized. Over the next few days, the number of protesters grew. Kent's mayor felt that the city police force could not handle the situation, so he asked for help, and the governor sent in the National Guard. By May 4th, the number of protesters had grown to about 2,000. Many of the protesters wrongly believed that the guardsmen's weapons were armed with either rubber bullets or blanks. This emboldened them, but these weapons were armed with live ammo. The National Guard lined up and began trying to push the protesters off campus. What the guardsmen didn't realize is that there was a fence with a locked gate behind many of the protesters. This made it impossible for the crowd to disperse in that direction and caused these protesters to move back toward the National Guard. The guardsmen apparently mistook this for the protesters defying their orders and advancing at them. Some of the guardsmen then fired into the crowd. 2 of the students who were killed were not even part of the protests. They were hit by stray bullets while walking on another part of the campus. 9 others were wounded, with one of them permanently paralyzed from the waist down. The most enduring image of the event is John Philo's Pulitzer Prize-winning photo of Mary Ann Vecchio kneeling over the dead body of Jeffrey Miller. In 2021, a woman from the African nation of Mali gives birth to nonuplets, that's 9 babies, in Morocco, where she had been flown in March for more specialized care. The babies are born at 30 weeks and weigh between 1.1 and 2.2 pounds. Only 2 sets of nonuplets have previously been recorded, in Australia in 1971 and in Malaysia in 1999, but none of those babies survived more than a few days. It is remarkable that all 9 of these babies in 2021 survived. I have a unique perspective on all of this. My wife and I had triplets, who are now adults, years ago. Our triplets were born 12 weeks early, weighing about 2 pounds each. They all spent several weeks in the neonatal ICU. It would be an understatement to say that things were pretty crazy when they came home. Trying to manage 3 newborns was a challenge. 9 newborns? Wow. In 2024, Star Wars fans across the galaxy celebrate Star Wars Day, an unofficial yearly holiday in honor of the film and TV franchise. May the 4th be with you. The first known reference to May the 4th as Star Wars Day is older than you might think. It goes all the way back to 1979, just 2 years after the first movie in the franchise was released. But it wasn't at that point widely known. May the 4th starts to become much more widely known after posts on Facebook mentioning it begin in 2008. It is not an official holiday, of course, well, except in California. In fact, California's legislature voted in 2019 to officially make May the 4th Star Wars Day. And this is, of course, because of the opening of the Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland that same year. Don't forget to check out Today in History in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. There's a link in the description. Which of these events did you find most interesting? Should other states follow California's lead and make May the 4th official? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the Mr. Lewis channel. And you can see another great Mr. Lewis video here, and there's another one right here. Thanks for watching.